Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Morgana's Bedtime Stories, a new segment in which I, Morgana, read classic, grade A literature to all of you, the audience. This week, we'll be taking a look at Shreksy by I Love Shrek 69 Ever on Wattpad. So, let's get started. You, just like any teenage girl out there at the time, were extremely fond of one special green ogre. His name was Shrek, and he was considered the sex bomb in the village you lived in. He slept with every teenage girl in the village. Well, everyone except you. Almost every night you masturbated to the thought of his green dick pounding inside you. Just thinking about him made you wet. It was a day like any other. You were simply walking home from school. It started raining, so you ran under a tree, which was rather close to Shrek's swamp. Just seeing that house made your hormones act up, and you already started having daydreams about fucking him. You waited under the tree for about 5 minutes and carried on walking after that, not bothering to wait for the rain to stop. Just as you were about to turn a corner, someone grabbed you by the arm and gently pushed you onto their chest. You immediately hoped for it to be your crush, Shrek. Well, your assumption was correct. In fact, Shrek was holding you so close, you could almost feel his ball drubbing against your hips. The feeling made you weak, and your legs gave in. As you were about to fall, Shrek caught you, picked you up, and carried into his house. Neither of you said a word this whole time. Then, Shrek interrupted the silence by saying, "What's a pretty girl like you doing out on the Rhine?" You could barely manage to say a word, never mind a sentence, so you chose to stay quiet and stare into his orbs, which were looking straight into yours. Before you could act, he smashed his lips onto your pink plump ones. Automatically, you wrapped your arms around his massive waist and threw yourself onto him. He then carried you to his bedroom, and that's where all the action began. To be continued.